Welcome back to the Basic Bee podcast. I am stoked to have you here, as well as my friend Latesha Lynch. We're going to be talking about, I honestly don't even know what. We just chose marketing. We're going to see where the wind blows today. But before I bring her on, here is a brief introduction. Latesha Lynch, an adaptable marketing and content strategist, believes your biggest flex should be your marketing strategy. Her mission is to help high-achieving women entrepreneurs make money doing marketing that is simple and adaptable to fit their energy, personality, business, and lifestyle. As host of the Revolutionary CEO podcast, which you should definitely check out, Latesha shares raw and authentic experiences from her journey, striking a balance between business, marketing, and motherhood. Her expertise spans across marketing, branding, and storytelling, inspiring other women to excel in their businesses. Hello, my friend.
Hey, I'm excited to be here.
I'm stoked to have you here.
To talk about all things marketing.
Literally, there is just a giant umbrella. We are here and who knows what we're going to talk about. But I do have one question that I ask everyone at the beginning of the podcast. So here you go. There are no wrong answers. I always have to preface that. There's nothing you can say that's like bad or wrong. Which do you believe is the most important for sales? SEO, storytelling, or social proof?
Ooh, most important for sales. From my perspective, I actually prefer social proof. I think about my own buying habits, like Amazon. I read all the reviews.
Same.
If I'm going to hire someone, I ask my friends if they've hired anyone for the same need first before I then do my own research. So yeah, I think social proof makes life so much easier.
I love that. And when it comes to social proof, what do you feel like that encompasses?
So many things. If people have, like, if it's something that's physical, if they show pictures of themselves with the thing, so I can get scope of size, perspective, does it fit? If it's a screenshot of something that's more raw, like I know when people make the cute little social proof graphics, I'm like, no, I want to see when they sent you the text message, spelling errors, whatever it was. I want to see that. I do this thing when I have like my VIP days at the end of the session, I'll ask them like, how did today feel? And I use that raw feedback to market the VIP day because it's just better when it just happened. So yeah, I prefer the most raw feedback possible. I want to know everything that happened. I know you do case studies. I want to know the full story. I'm nosy. Tell me your life story and how everything happened and the transformation and when you hated it, but then you loved it. I want to hear all of it.
Oh my gosh, yes. I love when you said, I'm nosy, tell me everything. Because yeah, exactly.
Very nosy.
Why not? And I mean, we do want to see the pictures of people wearing the thing or using the thing or whatever. But I was also reminded, I was giggling on the inside because you were talking about screenshots and Jamar Diggs and I'll link this episode. We were talking about how we're both screenshot whores because we will screenshot everything. And I do think it's really cool to see that raw social proof.
Yes. I screenshot everything, even if it's a transcript from Voxer, screenshot.
I've done that, yeah. Or sometimes I'll have people will send me emails and it'll be like a giant paragraph and there's a couple sentences in the middle that I want to use without revealing the personal information. So I'll copy that and text myself and just use that text message screenshot.
That's so smart.
Because I'm like, I don't want to like rat them out for this stuff.
That is so smart. I love it.
I've gotten creative. So I don't know, where should we go with this marketing thing? I know we've talked about case studies. You and I are constantly on Threads. If you're not on Threads and you're listening to this or watching this, like please go find me and Latesha on Threads because we have so much fun over there.
Yes.
Maybe let's go there.
Let's talk about it.
Threads is new on the marketing scene. Why do you love it over there? And what have you seen from your activity over there?
It's easier. I think it takes a lot of the pressure off of what social media marketing has felt like for a lot of business owners, especially business owners who don't have a marketing background. Like we have marketing background. My corporate marketing background, I've been doing marketing since 2006, was a lot of social media. So I'm just so used to it. I was in college when Facebook started. So natively, we've just been social media people. But for the average person who started a business and they come from like a corporate background, they don't care about social media, especially from the business perspective. So I think something like Threads allows you to just talk, to just share your thoughts. Again, raw feedback, raw thoughts. I think that really separates people who actually know what they're talking about from people who don't. Because it's very obvious there and everyone calls you out and everyone welcomes you in. And I just feel like it's such an untapped resource for networking. It's like what LinkedIn wishes it could be.
Yes, that. Yes.
The amount of referrals and tags, like, you know whether or not your messaging is good because people know what you do and they tag you based on your expertise or not. And I just think that we have not experienced this level of access to people that normally wouldn't have even responded on something like Instagram. They have too many followers or they're not paying attention. I just feel like people are just really engaged over there. I love it so much. What about you?
Oh my gosh, it's so fun. I've had so many opportunities, even as you were talking about getting connections with people that normally wouldn't give you the time of day. Not that they wouldn't necessarily, but like Laura Belgray has been on my podcast because of this. Jara Bean has been on my podcast because of this. You and I have connected so much more over there because of this. So it's so fun. And I've been able to get a lot of podcast guests, a lot of just good conversations. I am tagged up the wazoo every single day. So even as you were talking about that, I love that because I actually told someone last week, I was like, I know I'm doing something right. I know like all of my visibility efforts and my messaging efforts are working because I'm getting tagged when and where it makes sense. And a lot of those are converting into maybe they join a course, maybe they hire me for something, maybe they refer me out for something else. So it's been really just so beautiful. And like you said, it's this really fun place to be. I commented on someone's thread the other day. They were talking about like, there's no strategy over here. And I feel this like draw to respond to so many threads over here just because I'm naturally, you want to comment, you want to have that connection and that conversation. And I responded saying something like, I really hope no one ever figures out a strategy for threads because the funness and the play is just, that's what I'm drawn to.
Exactly.
That's so great. I love that you mentioned LinkedIn. So are you over on LinkedIn or what platforms are you on?
I'm on all of them. Just, I always tell my clients, don't do what I'm doing. I'm on there because my business is multi-channel marketing. So the least I can do is be knowledgeable and present just to see what these other platforms are like. So yes, I'm on LinkedIn, but am I on there? No. Does it look like I'm present? Absolutely. You'll know this just from an SEO perspective, but I make my clients Google their name and their business name.
Yes.
And when they Google it, I say, what shows up first? LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram. And it's the silliest things, but I'm like, you don't recognize and realize that Google over your own website, even if your website is LeteshaLynch.com, that's not going to show first for Latesha Lynch in the search bar. It's going to be YouTube. It's never the thing that you want. So I tell all my clients to make sure that they have what I've been calling core content. I know I have a friend, Felly, calls core content something else. But when I talk about core content, on each of those platforms, you need basically like the menu bar for your website to exist so someone can navigate. And my LinkedIn, the links are updated, my about is updated, my cover is updated. I don't use that platform, but if you went there, you would get to the proper offers and services and you would know enough about me to make a decision. But yeah, I don't care about that. So Instagram's my favorite. Threads. Threads, even though I haven't really been using it hardcore except for like the last few months. When I look at my Google Analytics, the traffic that it's sending to my site, it's like beating out things that I used to spend so much time on. My client, I do these audits, and part of my audit process is checking where their traffic is coming from. And I was like, you just got on Threads, what, a month and 2 months ago? And it's number 3 for driving traffic outside of organic search and Instagram, which is where she spends all of her time. So something is to be said about if you can find platforms that you don't have to spend so much time on and it still does its job, it's taken over. I used to be an Instagram girly only, but now I'm like Thread, number 1. Instagram, and now, I like my podcast and, email marketing, but Threads is my favorite.
Threads is definitely my favorite. And I'm glad you brought that up because I checked my Google Analytics within the last couple of weeks. And it
marketing people are such data people.
We're such nerds. We're like,
check my Google Analytics in the morning
with my coffee. It totally happens. But yeah, I think all but 2 of the links were threads for referring channels. I was like, okay,
oh my gosh.
I see you. It's such an easy place to go over and do stuff. I don't have to like even put on a bra if I don't want to. I don't have to like look a certain way. I can just go over there, type some stuff. I can add a photo in if I want to. You can do links. It's just so fun and easy, and you don't feel like you have to plan stuff. Also, I see so many people talking about this. All of the random thoughts are so welcome over there. And those are the ones that I think get the most traction. And people are like,
It
oh, I really
does.
like you. Let me go check out your
Uh-huh.
website.
Exactly, exactly. And I do that too. If someone tags someone in something, I'm like, well, why does that person keep getting tagged? Let me check them out. I go straight to their Instagram and then straight to their link.
Yeah.
And I can see that that's the behavior just again from looking at the analytics.
Oh, I love this so much. Okay, when you were talking about core content and different marketing channels, I know I've asked you this before, but can you break out how you talk about the different marketing channels? Because I know you have a whole framework around that.
hmm So when I talk about marketing channels, I always tell clients to have like the main three, and three being one search. So one SEO platform should be required, I think, as a business owner. And I always highlight the fact that search gives you an opportunity to reach people that don't have to follow you, don't need to subscribe. They can find you on their own. You're found across the internet. I think that's a great opportunity there. And you don't have to do as much work. And then it lasts the longest of all of the things that you can do online. SEO is going to just continue to grow. So that's great. I always say that they need a nurture platform. So email is an excellent nurture platform for people who have shown interest but now kind of need some engagement with you and need to kind of keep, getting to know you. That gives you an opportunity to reach them. But also just thinking about email, that's the one thing we check every single day,
Mhm.
hands down. Most people in the world check email every single day. So now that gives you an opportunity to interact with your people every single day. And then one social platform or something where you can build a community. So I think if you hate social, that's fine. But networking is going to have to be your thing in person somewhere, a referral network, a UGC network, something. You need something to give access to people socially where you can build a community.
Mhm.
And that's it. So that's how I always look at, the different multi-channel. When I say multi-channel, that's what I'm looking for, your big three.
I love that. And I love how you break it down because it makes so much sense. And I just love it when it
hmm
makes sense. It's, doable. It feels good to your energy, all of that stuff. Okay. So actually on that note, how can service providers adapt their marketing as their energy capacity and their business changes? Hey, fellow podcaster. I see you out here wanting to do more with SEO, but not even knowing where to begin or what to do. Oh, and yeah, there are loads of episodes you should be blogging about, but like, how? I saw so many conversations just like this happening around me, and one day I just thought, I'm a podcaster, I'm an SEO show notes writer, I should make a resource. So I did. And now you can grab the SEO podcast show note and blog post templates. You get everything you need to go from podcast idea to SEO optimized podcast show note to SEOified blog post, which means you've got 2 long-form content pieces out here marketing for you 24/7. I even included video training so you know exactly what goes where and how to incorporate SEO for your podcast ASAP. Click the link in the show notes and grab your templates today.
Yeah, so I have this whole thing where I feel like based on energy, right? So think about your energy. Sometimes you're going to be really high energy, and that's great. And then there's going to be times where maybe you're busy, you're tired, you're traveling, you're sick. When you think about that, you think about also your capacity. There are times where you are going to be able to take on more and do more and contribute more of your time to activities. When I started thinking about why is it that people fail when it comes to marketing or feel like a failure when it comes to marketing, I think a lot of the times they're stuck doing marketing that doesn't work in that particular season of their life or their business. And I'll give an example. I have a lot of clients who are pregnant right now. So I'm like, right now, you're okay because you're out of the first trimester, it's second, you're feeling your energies back, but things are going to change drastically and you have no idea. So let's come up with your alternatives for how you're going to show up. And how I want people to adapt it is based on what you're selling and what your energy is. You either need something that's going to give you quick wins right away. You need something that sometimes you can build bigger, longer term relationships. Like you need opportunities to think about how you're going to show up and market when you're at those different stages. And adapting it just comes from, okay, I may not do a live launch because I don't have the energy. So this time I might just do email only, and whoever's an existing, I might just only market to people who I've already worked with and try to upsell them into this next thing to see if they want to continue the service. And that becomes your sales strategy. Sometimes it's like, you know what? I might post a few little videos and those are going to be ads and I'm just going to let the ads do its job. Sometimes I'm going to have a 3-day challenge next week, because I want to interact with people. I think if people can look at marketing like that and don't feel pigeonholed and stuck into certain strategies, that then as their needs and their lives and their energies change, they already know what to do in those seasons. So live things that I've done, I went back to corporate for a little while. I couldn't turn down. It was like a VP of marketing or something. And I was like, oh my God, like this is like a dream from back in my corporate days.
Mm-hmm.
So I, of course, took the role and I forgot how much energy it takes to go to work and then still run my business. And so the ways that I adapted was, you know what? I'm just going to host workshops. I wasn't doing any of my major services. And when I was marketing, I was like, this launch will be email only. I didn't show up on social. I just marketed to my existing email list. I segmented based on people who I thought would be interested, and then I just marketed to those people. And it was fine. But normally I would do something fun. I would have like a workshop or something that I market for like a month. And I usually have the energy for that, but I could not muster up the energy. I did so many, like a 5-day sale and email only reels at one point. I did nothing else, just reels. And it all worked out. Every single way worked, but it also only worked because it matched me at the time. And I just want people to be able to do that. That was a long explanation.
No. I'm here for it because I think all those examples are really helpful and they paint a picture for us. That's part of why I love talking with you. Only part. I mean, there's like a bajillion parts, but
we're both great.
We're just amazing. So I really like being mindful of where you're at in life and what's going on, because you could be grieving, you could be moving, you could be having something really amazing, like a new baby come into the house. But like all of these are adjustments. I just had this conversation recently this week with a business coach, and she was saying that we don't need to back away and not show up. We get to show up in whatever way, in whatever capacity we have. And no one had really said that to me, because since November, we're in August right now, I had not posted anything on Instagram. I was like, it's cool. It's just going to like hang out. I didn't have a 9 grid. I just had my regular stuff and I just stopped posting. But I was in my stories. I was in my DMs. That felt very good. That felt very fulfilling. And within the last couple of weeks, I'm like, all right, I'm ready to come back. I'm so much more clear. I know who I'm talking to. I like my offer suite, all these things. And one of my pinned posts, this was such a like fire under my tush moment, because one of my pinned posts was promoting 4-day email course that was a lead into something else, neither of which I'm promoting anymore. And someone emailed me and she was like, I was just wondering, when are you going to be running this thing again? And I'm like, I'm so sorry. Those two have left the building. But tell me what you're looking for and I'll figure out something else that I can point you in the right direction. So she did email me back and we're figuring that out. But I was like, oh my goodness, if I had just continued to not do that and neglect that part of Instagram, that would have been very bad. So now I'm in this season of like, okay, what can I do? How can I come back in a way that's good for my energy, good for my capacity? And then what can I do to make different moves as life changes? Because it's going to.
Yeah, absolutely. I like the idea of the 9 grids for sure. I was telling a client the other day, she was like, I like Instagram. I don't want it to just be the 9 grid and then that's it. And I said, what if instead of it just being a static 9 grid, what if for the month you kind of think of what are the kind of the things that I want to focus on in my business? And maybe you just make the post some static things still, because everyone doesn't want to hang out in the feed anymore. I think stories is where it's at. I think doing reels is fun. So I feel like people should be open to the idea. Maybe you just have a few things that you're going to post for the month and that's it. Nothing else. You're not posting every single week. You think about the month and what you have coming up in your business and that's what you post. And then everything else active. It'll keep looking like you're updating it, but you won't disappear for months. It's just every few weeks you're going to make some updates. And I think about it like with your blog or your podcast, you're not making something all the time. Like we can start treating social media in certain instances where we don't feel obligated to show up every single day, because that's kind of what has caused people to be so stressed. I think stories is easier too, like threads, because it's just, I popped up, I faced the camera, whatever I had to say, and then I go on about my day. But the feed is like planning, and you have to, there's sometimes graphics involved and then captions. It's just a lot of work, and you're not going to feel like doing that in every season of life, or even just business. If you're a service provider who does the service, like you're an executor, you may not even have the time for that because God forbid you might actually be booked out, which is the goal. Well, then when you're booked out, guess what? You don't have time for social.
You don't.
Especially not all those, graphics and things. So yeah, I'm glad that you took some time away and now you're like easing back and maybe you need to archive some stuff.
So things might need to go away, and that's fine. Yeah, I mean, it's been a good reminder, and the timing was just really perfect because I was ready and I got that message, and then it was like, all right, it's go time. Like, we are totally changing the plan. And yeah, I mean, to your point, you're talking about a lot of things that are easy, that are fun. I mean, I called my podcast The Basic Bee. Like, we do simple over here. So, I wanted to do a carousel the other day. I just did one of those notes app things. Like, I've drafted the whole thing out. I keep it so simple. I saw that people are doing hashtag strategies of like 6 or 7 hashtags. We did that. We did not rack up all 30. So it's like, what can you do to make it easy to create pieces of content that are really going to be long lasting and are going to serve you well? That's why I like doing the blog. That's why I like doing the podcast. That's why I met with Jamar, and I'm going to do YouTube in the right way.
Yeah.
It's just not the right way right now, but it's longer term strategy to actually have things that are out there working for me.
And I love that. I love that you have found a mix, getting that multi-channel mix that's going to work for you, but strategically, long term what it's going to do as well.
And even talking with you, I'm like editing some of the marketing strategies in my head because I'm like, we can let that go. We can be a little bit more strategic with this. Because like, I love emailing. You were talking about we're not creating stuff all the time for podcasts. Well, don't do what I do because I front loaded Q1 with so many podcast guests. I've got 2 episodes that go out a week. I usually record the solo Friday one like last minute, and Leah is like, I got it. Don't even worry. I had to record my last one outside with birds and planes and a glass table. And I was like, I'm so sorry.
In our headphones when we listen. So we're going to be like, wow, I feel like I'm in nature.
She did an amazing job, but I was like, I'm so sorry, everyone.
That is so funny.
Done. Yeah. So, I mean, I'm out here doing all these things. Don't do what I do, but I'm enjoying it and I'm having fun. And I'm very much in the energy of like, this is what I do. This is what I'm good at. These are people that I help and I get to shout them out. So it feels good, at least for right now. But we're going to get much more strategic about that.
Yeah, I had to switch mine. I think a lot of people front load social marketing, which the consistency feels like more frequency. But I had to rethink even my podcast. I was like, I don't actually want to post a new episode every single week. I just can't because I am also last minute. That just might be a personality thing. Like the pressure. It's due today. I'm going to post it at 5 a.m. It's of the day that it's supposed to go live. It's okay. And so for me, I was thinking YouTube, I would do every week. And then I would do my podcast. And I was like, I can't. I'm giving 2 podcast episodes for the month and 2 YouTube videos for the month. That's all I got.
Yeah.
And I've made this commitment like a few weeks ago. So now that's going to be my new schedule. And it feels so good. I think that we put a lot of pressure on ourselves for schedules. And yeah, there are seasons where I can do that. And I love it, by the way. I love content. So don't get me wrong. I love content so much. But sometimes I just got back into doing services where I'm executing. I wasn't doing them for a while. Coaching is very different, like easy peasy. Yeah. My schedule's great, light as a feather. I can coach 50 clients in a week and I'm fine. Services, I'm like, I'm in the thick of obsessing over my clients' data and content right now. I can't think. So I think in the season of my life and business, it's like, girl, you got to find a way to step back a little bit, but still be present. So my schedule is about to change big time. And I'm so excited about it.
I'm excited for you. Even hearing you say that, I'm like, that sounds so nice. So clearly I need to go in and do this editing that's happening in my head, like in real life. But you mentioned data and getting into your clients' data. What are some points that you're looking at?
Oh, so first, I always want to know where are they getting like traffic to their website? Because ultimately, you're trying to send people to your sales page, right? Or to your discovery call page or to your shop page, whatever it is. And so the first thing I want to know is a lot of people come to me because they're spending too much time on content and it doesn't feel like it's worth their time. So they want to see like what is going to be worth my time. Well, where is your traffic coming from? If you tell me I'm spending hours on Instagram, but all of your traffic is coming from Threads and organic search, then girl, we need to step up your SEO and let's go all in on Threads because that's what's actually working. And it's not going to cost you as much time. Now you're going to definitely feel the weight of how much your time is worth it when you're leveraging it on the proper channel that's working best for you. So I look at their data, where is traffic coming from? I also look at on those platforms, what's performing the best, like of their content. What style of content, what format of content, what was the topic, what were the keywords being used. When I see all of those things, it tells me a lot about what their people either need to hear or what we need to switch up or add to the mix to better attract the right people. And then I look into their content processes. What I find is that a lot of times people are taking so long with content because they're doing things that take too long. So, for example, I had a client, she was like, I just want you to see my process for content. And then she proceeds to record this video, and it was like 17 steps of just different things and 50 categories of like content pillars. And I was like, oh my God, no. And she was like, a coach taught me this, and I thought I had to do that. I was like, no. I said, no wonder you're stressed out. Like, this is too much. I would be stressed with this. And it was so organized because she's like a systems person. I was like, it's not that it's not organized, and it's not that it's not a clear process that you can repeat. It's just what it's costing you. And I said, we don't have to do any of this. So it's just when I get like an idea, or if like you tell me you hate video, but all you're doing is, well, why are you doing video? Let's not do video. To me, you're a better writer. I just told a client yesterday, I said, you're an excellent writer. I get your emails. I went through all your blog posts. Like, you could feel the life coming into her on Threads. I said, but you are dry on this feed. Get off this feed. That is not your platform. And she's like, I love writing. Then why are you doing video? One of the things that I have this something called lead overflow, but lead overflow teaches people to find their marketing style, their best communication style. And I think if people can figure out where are you best at communicating and what lights you up, then go all in on that platform. I bet you wouldn't hate it as much. You would be a better writer, a better talker, a better communicator because you're enjoying the process. And then let's get the topics, the way you're approaching the topics, to be something that you enjoy and that lights you up. So those are all the things that I look at when I'm evaluating people's data and stuff. I'm like, where are these people coming from? What's converting? How is it converting? Do you like it? Is it taking you way too long? And those things give me a lot to come into like a call with them to help them change it.
Yeah. I like that you're even talking about how your one client was showing you the exact process and workflow for that. So now I'm going to be monitoring mine.
Oh, it was so fun to watch. I feel like I'm in the room with her while she's working. Right? And she was explaining it, and it was so organized. And the whole time I was like, this is too much. She's relieved too to not. She says, she was like, I have never enjoyed content, but like, I'm having fun. She's like, I'm busy and I'm having fun. I was like, that's what I want to hear, the word fun come from non-marketing people, because marketing is fun. But if you're not doing it in the way that you would find fun,
and damn it, we're going to make sure you know it.
We're going to make sure you love it.
I was on a call with a potential client, and she was like, I'm so excited to talk with you about SEO. And I was like, those words never come out of my clients' mouths. This is amazing. Must have looked like a deer in headlights, because she's like, does this not normally happen? And I was like, no, this doesn't. Normally people are so scared and overwhelmed, and they're hating the idea before we even have a conversation. So it was so refreshing, and we got to totally geek out on stuff, and it was so fun.
I love that. I think it's our job as marketing practitioners to help people find the fun in that work, because we know it works and we know you're going to get the results. And part of having fun is the results, right? Like, I posted it and it worked, but also the process should be fun for you, and you should be proud of all of it. So I'm glad that you are doing content that's lighting people up enough to be like, that's the person who's going to help me, and I can't wait to talk to them about this thing.
Yeah. It just makes your heart so happy. Oh my goodness. This was so good. Okay. Where can people go to find more Latesha in their lives? Because we all need it.
Well, I'm a Threads girly now. So on Threads and Instagram, and my website, it's Her Marketing Coach, hermarketingcoach.com. I do have my podcast, Revolutionary CEO Podcast, and that's on all the networks.
All of the places. You can find her on all of the things. I'm realizing that I'm not on your email list, and I'm going to go fix that like immediately once we hang up from this.
Oh, I send good emails. Sure they're like full master classes. Oh yeah. I get like replies, and they're like, girl, take it, notes, screenshots. I'll have to read this 3 more times.
Yeah,
I'm like, okay.
It's like, please do. Send it to a friend or 5. I mean, that's great. That actually reminds me, I know that you and I, we are going to do this, going to go back into our email welcome sequences and redo them. But I got to tell you, I've had 2 replies this week to my very first email that goes out to people.
I love that.
It's the one where I tell people that I almost brought home the wrong dog. which is very fitting because my puppy just passed away a couple weeks ago. So I'm like, it's so nice to see his face like coming up in my email. And one person wrote back and she's like, I was not expecting to come into an SEO person's world and have an email like this. It's so fun. And I immediately needed to reply to you. I said something about cassette tapes. It was so great.
Yeah, you have such a good personality. I'm glad that you show that through your writing because people sometimes forget that you get to do that.
You get to do
especially in email. We definitely need to get together to do these things.
We are doing it. It is happening. I'm making notes as I'm getting replies to these emails because I was like, I gotta go update that. That's like way old.
Oh, mine are so outdated, but it's okay.
It's fine.
The links work. My 404 page is great.
I love my 404 page. I should link that because I am so proud of my 404 page. You don't normally want to send people there, but like I really do because it's so cool. I definitely SEOified it. To bring that whole conversation full circle, though, you were talking about Facebook. I actually was in high school when Facebook came out, but I was in high school at a college campus. So I had a like .edu email address.
That's why you got access.
So we got on.
I remember when the high schoolers got access, we were like, oh.
I know. So terrible.
We were so disappointed.
It was so sad. So yeah, so I joined that. But I was just thinking all of my writing came so naturally when it was the, update your status or like MySpace back in the day, back in the day. I was so good at writing those quippy little one-liners, which I think is a big reason why I like Threads. But also, that's how I write. I write like I speak. And I try to get my clients to do that because it just, like you were talking, it brings the copy to life.
Yeah, you will definitely stand out from Chat GPT and all those other things if you just wrote like you spoke.
Massive eye roll from
me.
You
eye roll. I saw. We are triggered.
It's a little bit of a hot button issue. I don't love the AI. It just takes me so much longer, and you can tell it's written by a robot.
Yes.
Give us your original thoughts. That's what I want. Give me that. Oh my gosh. On that note, it's been lovely chatting with you. We should definitely do this again, and we are going to do the emails.
Absolutely. Yeah. I'm waiting for my invite.
I know. I will send that. Thanks for joining us.
Yay. Bye, y'all.
Bye. Okay. You get it. You know SEO is important, but no, you're not interested in learning another skill. Who has the time? But who are you supposed to trust with the task of getting SEO to work for you? Someone who won't ghost you mid-project or treat you like a dum-dum lollipop. Someone who actually wants to empower you and your team with all things SEO. Hi, yes, it's me, Brittany, and you are the person I created the SEO packet for. You're curious, you want to understand this thing better, but like only a little bit. You don't actually want to do the doing. This way, you get the key SEO stuff super fast, and you get support throughout and beyond the project. No more letting Google gift you the wrong SEO strategy. Time to put the right words in the right places and get found online by the right people. Find all the info you need below.